welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another season here of the RSL, the Revival StarCraft League Season 3 2025 America's Server Qualifier, the first qualifier of the season. I'm of course VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all. Phew, it has been quite some time, but we've returned with the final season of the year. For those who are maybe unaware, we have been casting, we have covered the previous RSLs. The previous RSLs, Season 1, Season 2 have been covered, of course. You can, of course, check out the VODs over on YouTube. And now we have returned with the third and final season of 2025. Three seasons are confirmed for the RSL. And this is the final one, the final season here, also leading into the offline finals. There is going to be an offline finals over in December, inviting the top players from all three seasons, from Season 1, Season 2, and of course from Season 3 as well. But before we get ahead of ourselves talking about that final, those end of year finals, we do have the America's Server Qualifier. Exclamation mark be in the chat, exclamation mark be in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves, the bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and we will be dipping our toes into the bracket itself. And before I get ahead of myself, a big shout out to Milky Cow. God, baby God, thank you so much, Milky Cow, for the raid. Hope you had a great stream, hope you had a great ladder session, hope you had a great time, and welcome. Bienvenidos. Thanks so much for the raid, as we are just now getting into our initial broadcast, as just now getting into our initial series. We were live earlier today, so I'm a little bit tired. A little bit tired, as we just wrapped up with the as we just wrapped up with the previous cast, with the Platinum StarCraft League tournaments. That was merely only a couple of hours ago. We have slept a total of like 4 to 5 hours. Let's go, baby, let's go. We are good to go. We have regenerated, and we're jumping into our first series. Very quickly though, again, this is a server qualifier, so despite it being in the Americas region, it's open to all. So we have herO versus Medic in the first round, Reaper versus Rebellion, Nightmare versus a Triple. We have Personal versus Prone, Bunny versus Patches, Creator versus Havertz, Shameless versus Creator, and we have our series, Mute and Foxer. Let's go, let us go. So again, check out the bracket. The bracket is stacked, the bracket is live, and we are jumping into the first series. Spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Tokamak, we have the American Terran player. We have the yellow Terran. It is Foxer. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the Peruvian Protoss for Bing Bong Exports. It is Mute. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is now Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as we have a proper America's matchup. Let's go. Latino America versus North America is taking place here. Coming into this, I do lean towards Mute. Mute has been achieving a lot more accolades as of late, has been competing a lot in a lot of open cups, a lot of regional events as well. Foxer a little bit less active and is still kind of rising through the ranks here. Foxer, of course, was competing in the most recent event, in the most recent S2 Safe House. True, he was a part of the S2 Safe House. Unfortunately, during the event, we were the official B stream, but we didn't actually get a chance to cast Foxer. We were focusing and fixating a little bit more so on Cham, on Estrella, on Juanito, on Trigger as well, and Eggs, El Huevito. We didn't really get to cast a lot of Foxer, unfortunately. So hey, we're at least able to catch him here in this event. For now, economic start. Economic opener here. Single gas opener out of Foxer, going for the faster CC on the low ground. So economic start, stay that opener out of Mute, as Mute is being as annoying as possible, tasing away at that SCV. Marine will zone away, and the probe will escape. Arriba Peru, papi. God, papi, God. So here we go. And we're waiting for a take of choice. When it comes to Mute's style in this matchup, typically he's very gateway heavy. typically, at least a couple of months ago when we were covering him on a more regular basis. But typically a more gateway heavy composition is what we expect. We'll see if he has been adjusting though in the latest patch. We have seen a rise in popularity of robo-based play and Colossus-based follow-ups. Instead of being too heavily reliant on gateway units on Zealots to go to faster Colossi or faster Storm. We'll see if Foxer will be doing the same here. We are loading into Tokamak. This is one of the largest maps in the map pool, so typically you can get away with greed. Here on Tokamak. The map will be favoring you in that respect. But here we go. But now, take of choice, Twilight Council. Twilight Council here out of mute. Meanwhile, a big shout to K-Store TV. Oh my god, thank you so much. Thank you so much. God, thank you so much for subscribing for 5 months. 5 months, so 4 months in a row. Gracias, papi, gracias. Quack. Ah, see, man. Quack. Do appreciate the support, as always. Do appreciate it. As we have folks who are getting to zone 111. From here, we have been going for reactor marine production. Did we make any Reapers? The answer is no. So 0 Reapers, 0 Hellions. As a result, folks has 0 scouting information. This is a little bit greedy, as there's 0 scouting with Reapers, Hellions, or SCVs. But as you mentioned, this map is a lot larger. Ooh, forcing you with a friendly fire on the marine. Clutch moves there by mute. But the map is a little bit larger, so we're expecting greed here. He's not really too concerned with hyper aggression out of mute. As we are waiting for the metamac, and here comes our first drop across the map. Ooh, hallucination will spot. Hallucination will confirm. Foxer makes his way across the map. Blink is almost complete. Okay, there's a Chrono and Blink. Foxer waddling in. Widowmine ideally does zone. And Stalkers are in position. Shield battery as well. So with the shield battery with the Stalkers, it should be fine. It should be fine. Zones where the drop is 0 damage. Solid defense. Behind this, we're still rallying across the map, rallying out to tanks, rallying out Vikings. Oh, we are committing. Yeah, Foxer is not backing down. Now, what's important with this move out is so far unscouted. We do have a 3rd hallucination being sent across the map. It does miss the main army, and Mute, he is out of position. His main army's over in the main, but he does have some units at least here at the natural. You can see Foxer trying to bait him into tank range. Trying to bait him in. Oh. Time to siege. Okay, on top of the gateway, the pylon is also exposed. Yeah, pylon's gonna go down. Depowers the robo, massive pickoff. He comes in from behind. Comes in. Ooh, does not quite get the tank. Yeah, barely does get away here. The tanks do pull back. Get the siege up. Oh, good. Nice control. Nice control of Mute. He does avoid those tank shots. Does avoid the widow mines. But can he get on top of the tanks though? The boys are here to repair. Yeah, the boys are here. Robo goes down. Massive pickup. No more immortals. And with a 3rd tank, Foxer, he's done it. With a 3rd tank, he has done it. He will kill the natural. We can see Mute catching reinforcements. Does get a Liberator. Does get a couple of Marines. But this main army cannot be dealt with. Not anymore. Charge will help, but it hits too late. Yeah, it's going to hit too little too late. And again, remember, this army, this push, wasn't scouted. The hallucination missed it. Hallucination did miss the move out. Mute didn't see it coming. Ideally, he would have been slowing this down. Ideally, he would have been engaging ahead of time, slowing down the push, forcing early sieges. That was not the case. Oh, as one tank gets picked off. One tank goes down. Charge is complete. Mute he intercept once around. Can intercept this round. Oh, there's the on siege. Observer did spot. That's Mute forcing his way in. Tanks they siege up on the high ground. And the Stalkers out again. They cannot move in. They can't do it. And here comes the next wave. The next wave of reinforcements. It's on the way. Behind us we got Stim, we got +1. The Olin is succeeding here for Foxer. He will lose both tanks. Both tanks finally go down, but again, Mute, he's stuck on one base. He's stuck on the one expansion, long distance mining, and here come the reinforcements. Foxer once again committing. Oof, catching up 3 Stalkers. 3 more Stalkers go down. From here, he can back up, he can expand. Up! Jesus. Oh no! Yeah, Foxer being a little bit too fancy with the medevac. Brutal losses towards the end. But he's fine. Like, he should be fine here. He's up in workers, he's up in economy. Again, Stim is now complete. And GG gets called. The writing is on the wall as Foxer stumbles out of control, and Foxer takes game number 1. Whew, GG, a very impressive play here by Foxer. Once again, a lot of this came down to the fact that Foxer's all-in was never seen. We saw that Mute, he was sending out hallucinations, and as a result, he saw the initial drop, and he had a really nice defense. I'm referring to the Widowmine Marine drop. Mute, he was able to shut it down very nicely, but we were speaking about that third hallucination, and the fact there was no observer across the map, there were no stalkers across the map either. We saw that third hallucination went across and did miss the army. He missed the army, he missed the move out. As a result, that's why Mute was actually staying in his bases, in his natural, in his main base. He wasn't able to slow down the army, slow down the all-in. He wasn't able to engage ahead of time. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, we are now getting into game number 2. Getting into game 2, and we'll see if Foxer can take it from here. We'll see if he can just clean up the series. Game 2 is going to be on Ultralove. Ultralove is a smaller map in the map pool. This is a map where all-ins are more expected. All-ins are more accessible here. And as a result, we do expect to see a safer build out of Mute. But we'll see. We'll see what our players do go for. So we are loading it. SCV's destroyed the pylon in the main. Oh, let's go. We're doing good. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Ultralove, we have the yellow Terran player, the yellow Terran himself, the American Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Foxer. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the teal Protoss player, the premium Protoss, representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Mute. Go. Yo, este Mixu in the chat. Why don't I see Mixu in the bracket back? Don't see him. Este Mixu. No, that's not what that's not. I know it's quite late. I know it's quite late in Europe. So shout out to those that are maybe in Europe that are tuning in, or maybe even competing in the tournament as well. Actually, it's insanely late. Isn't it like 5 a.m. or something? Like, hold on. Yeah, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. Oh my god. Mixu. get some sleep, Pappy. Get some. Ay. Ah. I just connected to me. I was like, hold on. Shout out to Shameless. Shameless going full degen. Shameless, is he the only European that signed up, that checked in? Yeah. Full degen is Shameless. Este Shameless. Ay. The one and only. Crazy. So is that Korean players allowed to play the qualifier? Yes. Just to once again reiterate, this is an American server qualifier. What that means, it is not region locked. There's no region locks on these qualifiers. The qualifier is more at a preferred time, and of course a preferred server. As I just mentioned, it's 5 a.m. in Europe, so as a result, in a qualifier like this, Europeans are deterred from competing, and it's similar with the other qualifiers as well. That the time of the qualifier is more catered towards the region of choice, so this is meant to be more of an NA like centric time zone qualifier, so it's a little bit more convenient for those in the Americas, I should say. More convenient, and of course their server is favored, so they have the server advantage as well. And it'll be the same with the European qualifier, it'll be the same with the Korean qualifier as well, or the Asian qualifier. All server qualifiers. As we do see, this time Foxter's going double gas. Okay, so double gas open out of Foxter, a more tech-heavy starts, going for a faster factory, faster starport as well. So much more aggressive here out of Foxter, which makes sense as we load into Ultra Love. At the same time, Mute across the map, going for his own Twilight Council opener. Great time for Koreans, better time for Koreans than US East even. Yeah, I guess, kind of. It's 11 a.m. in Korea. For those that wake up early, for those that don't go full degen, like Shameless, and Mixed 2 as well. Aye. For those that wake up when the sun is in the sky. Yes. So unfortunately, that does mean that players like Cure, players like Byun, a lot of the Korean Terrans, they are not awake at this time. that is known. Bunny is, shout out to Bunny. True. Bunny, an actual human. Looks like a very similar build though. We are rallying the tank, rallying the Viking, hyper aggression out of Foxter. He's rallying across the map. He's moving out. That's why it's called Shameless. Exactly. Shameless, man. Shameless. True. herO online 24/7. herO, he does run his heap schedule to play everything. It's true. But here we go. Here comes the early push. We got one of the boys here to repair. Mute, he was able to spot this ahead of time. Oh, he wants that tank. It does move in. Tank is yet to siege. Bunker is on the way. Foxter forces his way up the ramp. Oh, that might take a lot of damage. Does barely survive. And you can see, thankfully, because Mute saw this coming ahead of time, he does force the siege early, and the army is quite far back. The pylon is safe. Ooh, nice time for the medevac. Medevac goes down. But the pylon is safe. The immortal is pumping. We're getting extra warpins as well. And so far, this is a stronger defense for Mute. Stronger defense. He can soon go for the dive, and he will. He dives in. Go for the tanks. The tank barely goes down. And Mute breaks out. He breaks out, takes down the Vikings, the Cyclones, the tanks, the medevac earlier. We have a second tank sieging up. But again, it's so far back. And we just dive in. We just dive on top of the tank as well. And Foxter, he will lose everything. GG gets called. The Oli gets shut down. And Mute, he will spot this. He will shut this down. And we are tied up 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, I'm not too fond of the idea of going for a similar build 2 games in a row. I say similar, it was a different opener out of Foxter, that is true. This did hit earlier than last game, but at the same time, Mute had the wherewithal to scout, to check, to confirm, to slow it down, to engage ahead of time. And as a result, was able to shut down said all-in, was able to force the earlier siege, get the earlier immortal production as well, and clean up the army. GG. GG, well played. We have a series. We have the ace match. We're getting into game 3, and we'll see how this story ends. Here we go. Este bromista. But game 3 is going to be on ley lines. Of course, we're going to be following the winner of the series into the next round, and we'll be catching up on that. Likewise, for this qualifier, we didn't really get to talk about it, but top two players do make it into the main event. They make it into RSL. That means that the finals will not be played. I mean, technically, they can try to force it just for seeding purposes, but most tournaments and most events do not force like those seeding matches to be played out. And yeah, do have confirmation the finals will not be played. The qualifying matches are the semi-finals of the tournament. So exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look back yourselves. We're still in round 16. And we aren't the only English cast. It's ourselves alongside Bomyoja. Bomyoja also casting, and we are on opposite sides of the bracket. So ideally we're able to avoid each other, and ideally we're able to cover our own qualifying matches. Ideally. Likewise, it's going to be a really intense weekend. I think someone was mentioning earlier about, well, someone's asking about the European qualifier. We should be able to cast that. I say should be just because there's a lot of casting to do. So this morning we were live with the StarCraft Platinum League. That was, again, like 5 hours ago that we just wrapped up that cast. So we were covering that. We do have the Korean qualifier. That is later on this evening. That is in... Let's have a look. That's at 9 p.m. my time. That is in 7.5 hours from this message. So we're going to wrap up this cast. Then I might try to get some sleep and wake up in time for the Korean qualifier. Again, it's in 7 hours. Then tomorrow we have the Tuna Cup. And after the Tuna Cup, then we have the European qualifier. So it's less so about like the time of the European qualifier, more about like how much we're casting before that and how much time we have to rest. So it's gonna be on me to sleep as much as I can in between the casts, because we got a lot of casting to do. Get a really intense weekend. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 3. We're getting into the ace match, and as we mentioned before, it's going to be on ley lines. Let's go. I said 007. And spawning in the top right hand corner here of ley lines, we have the American Terran player. We have the yellow Terran being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back, and can he make it to the quarterfinals? It is Fuxer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the teal Protoss player. We have the Peruvian Protoss representing Ping Pong Exports. It is Mute. Go. And so far, Fuxer has been hyper aggressive in this series. Game 1 went for a 2-base all-in. Game 2 also went for an all-in as well. Game 2 was an earlier push and earlier timing, as he did not waste any time with early Widowmine Marine drop or anything like that. But it's been hyper aggression nonetheless. And so far, we do expect that trend to continue here for Fuxer. We'll see if he does embrace another aggressive build. So eyes are on the yellow Terran. Prepare to get muted. Ah, true. Prepare to get foxed. Ah, no. Let's go. So now Fuxer is going for an economic start. He's going for a single gas this time into a faster CC. This is the same opener that he went for in game 1, and he's doing so again here in game number 3. It's time to get foxy. True. Oh god. Este Fuxer. As a CC on the low ground, Probe Scout does confirm the timing of the command center. So Mute, he's aware that this is an economic start. He knows that he is safe early on, and he can just settle into his own early game. As Fuxer does check his nearby 3rd and 4th base locations, he's checking for proxy gateways, making sure he's safe and sound. From here, we're settling in. We have Mute going for a Stalker into a Sentry Opener with his hallucinations. Will be sent across the map. We'll get some scouting information. We'll confirm what Fuxer's up to. Ooh, and we are being hyper greedy here. Okay, insanely fast 3rd CC. That's a 3rd CC before Starport. Jeez, okay. Okay. So we go from non-stop 2-base all-ins in game 1 and game 2 to the direct opposite of that and rushing into a very fast 3rd CC. So hyper greed out of Fuxer. Now what's scary here is that we should soon be seeing a hallucination. Right? There it is. Speaking of hallucinations scattered across the map, this should confirm what's going on. We do see Foxer. He doesn't have he can't intercept. Yeah, there's nothing to intercept. So there's going to be no denial of the scout. And then Mutes can react and respond with aggression. He has options. Either he can respond with aggression, throw down extra gateways, get a robo, get a warp prism, get across the map, or he can just be greedy himself and meet Foxer in the mid game. As Hallucination gets eyes on the 1-1-1, Hallucination gets eyes on the third command center. So far, 2 more gates are on the way, so it's going to be 3-gate blink out of Mute. We'll see if he throws down a 4th gateway. I feel like going 4-gate blink here can be very strong and very powerful alongside of Robo to be hyper aggressive across the map. Robo's on the way. Hellies, they dive into the middle line, and 4 Hellies, that's enough to one-shot. Jesus, yeah, the probes, they do pull away. So far, going to be 3 probe kills. The Hellion shots aren't really lined up, but they get locked in. Okay. Nice control here out of Mute. Does try to lock them in, but it's still going to cost him 7 probes. Ay, 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 brutal damage. 7 probes go down, gets into the main, more probe damage. Getting up to 8. 8 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. With that, I mean, really nice, really solid economic damage out of Foxer. Robo is out, and are we counterattacking? Blink is almost done. Here comes a hallucination. Foxer settling in, and we don't see a War Prism on the way. We're taking gases. It looks like Mute is not counterattacking. So Foxer, he's getting away with this. He's getting away with his build. He's not being punished for being hyper greedy. I'm favoring Foxer coming into the mid game. As Mute just expands. And again, that's a delayed third base. He expands as he's taking up into Storm. Overall, a worse position here for Mute. So we do have all of our upgrades lining up. So Stim, Combat Shields +1. Going to be a strong timing here for Foxer once he gets his third base up and running. And for the first time this series, we can embrace the mid game. But again, we're getting into the mid game with the Terran player having a boosted economy. Mute, he can still hold his own with Storms, depending on how they land, depending on how they connect. We'll see. Goes down. Likewise, Muse is taking him into charge. Has his own gateway explosion. And with this initial Stim timing, looks like Foxer is not going for a main push, he's going for drop play. And again, he doesn't need to go for a main push, like he's been very greedy, very economic. Just setting up defensively back at home. And even opts not to drop. And Foxer should be able to maintain that supply lead. Should be able to. And getting his third fully operational. Ghost Academy is on the way. Building up into Ghost production. That's going to be ideal against the earlier Storm build of Mute. We have been seeing Terran players struggle against more Colossus heavy starts just because they blindly have been going for Ghosts and being shut down by said Colossus. But Foxer doesn't have anything to worry about here against Mute, in the sense that there's no Colossi. He gets spotted. Foxer gets spotted. Storm is coming in. And again, Foxer, he does not have to commit. Ooh, but he's going for a massive Doom drop. There's a spotter pylon. Pylon's in position. Drop gets spotted. Mute, he reacts. He's rallying over. Stalker's in position. Oh! He commits anyway. Yeah, he commits into the main. Does land only one tank. The other was left behind. And the High Templar, they're lagging behind here. Here come the Storms though. Oh! And nice trades. Nice trades by Foxer. Trades well initially. There's a first Storm. We pick up. We get the hell out of there. Medivacs, they do barely survive. And again, overall, a decent trade here from Mute. It did lose the one tank. But now I can pull away. It's pulling back home. And you can see Foxer with a massive supply lead here. And this is all because of the fast third. Remember, we spoke about it, but it was a very greedy build and he got away with it. He was not punished. So faster 2-base saturation, faster 3-base saturation, and that leads into a greater army. So this is going to be a difficult defense for Mute. Foxer is moving in, this time with the EMPs. And we'll see how well they land. Mute spots the army. Spots the army, War Prism into the main, also into natural. 9 SCVs, not bad. 11 SCV kills. Shows EMPs. Doesn't connect yet, no EMPs. We'll lose 2 ghosts immediately. Miscontrol out of Foxer. Does have the miscontrol, very nice EMP. There's one Storm. There's one Storm with the main army. There's a recall back home. I can imagine this with extra EMPs though. With those 2 extra ghosts. EMP lands, and there's still one Storm. Yeah, Storm lands. There's soon to be another, but there's nothing left. Yeah, there's nothing left. 0 Storms remaining, and Foxer, he does it. He stims on forward. He can stim, and he can win. We have 2 Colossus just now popping up, but we have plenty of Vikings. Vikings, they just go to town, limited anti-air, and the 3rd base has been broken. At the same time, we have some counterattacks. Alas, bunkers are back at home, reinforcements are back at home. Foxer, he does defend. And there's nothing here for Mute. We spoke about it, but Mute, he had the option, he had the opportunity to punish this. Mute, he scouted the 3rd CC early, but he was unable to apply any pressure. We were like, oh, he can be aggressive with 3 gateways, he can go for a 4-gate follow-up. His response was to expand. His response was to play from behind. And Mute, who loses 4th, loses 3rd. And now Mute is down to 2 bases. Meanwhile, a big shout to Games. Shout out to Gustavo, papi. Gracias. Bom dia, papi, bom dia. Obrigado. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast. Hope you had a great time. Likewise, a big shout out to Just Me Executor as well for subscribing with Twitch Prime for 7 months. Thank you, papi. Thank you. Do appreciate it. As Foxer, he should be able to max out, and Mute doesn't really have much to stop him. He's going for the backstab, going for the warp in across the map. Foxer, he does miss the prism. Just barely misses. So now goes the expansion. We have 3 high tempo with the main army. Jesus, as he gets the entire mineral line. 18 probes go down. Storms, they graze the army. Yeah, but no major connections. With that, he can just collapse in. Rushes through the storms, takes down the Colossus. And that was the final army for Mute, as he will lose everything. The Colossi, the Storm. GG gets called, and Foxer will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Foxer for claiming the series. I was a little bit concerned after game 2. Game 2 gave me the indication that Foxer, he might be a little bit more one note, just because we saw hyper aggression 2 games in a row. Happy to see Foxer mix things up in the 3rd game, and Mute scattered, but Mute was unable to punish, unable to react, unable to respond. He did go for a more, as we mentioned, he expanded. He went for the expansion, went for a later 3rd base, tried to play economic, tried to play standard from behind, and again, he just fell a little bit too far behind in regards to the supply, in regards to the economy. Folks had a very, very comfortable start. GG. GG, well played. Foxer just claimed the series. And with that, let's catch up on the rest of the bracket. Oh boy. Let's go exclamation mark and be in the chat. Have a look back yourselves. Let us catch up. As we have plenty of updates here, as we have the first round concluding. The round 16 has completely wrapped up, and now we are heading into the quarterfinals. herO takes down Medic Jr. 2-0. Rebellion takes down Reaper 2-0 as well. So we have herO versus Rebellion in a PvP in the upper quarterfinals. Scrolling down, we have Triple. Whoa, what happened there? Nightmare is favored. I believe that is a walkover, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Nightmare was unavailable to compete, and I believe that should be a walkover. As it was reported as a 3-0. But yeah, so Triple, I believe he gets a walkover over Nightmare to face off against Percival in the next round. Percival takes down Prome 1-0. I don't know if that was a 1-0 or another forfeit. There was a chance that was a forfeit as well. Sometimes players, they can have a bit of an awkward time actually assigning forfeits. So that did also occur. Bunny takes down Patches 2-0. Bunny's going to be up against Foxer in the next round. That's going to be our next series. And we have a Creator taking down Havertz. Shameless takes down Creature. And we have Shameless versus Creator in the next round. There we go. So we have the entirety of the quarterfinals ready for us. And we're going to be getting into our TVT between Bunny and Foxer. Quarterfinals, Team Falcons. There we go. So we have our TVT. And we're going to be following that into the winner of Creator and Shameless. That is going to be our plan. Bearing in mind that the qualifying matches are best of 5, and the qualifying matches are the semifinals. So there's only 2 rounds left. Only 2 rounds remaining in this qualifier. Whether or not we cast both qualifying matches, that I'm less certain of. We might split up ourselves and Bomyoja. We might be covering 1 qualifying match each, depending on how things line up. There we go. For now, though, we are going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, when we return, we will be having Bunny versus Foxer in the quarterfinals. See you soon. See you soon. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. We'll see you soon in a couple of moments with the next series. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second series of the broadcast. Welcome back to the 2025 RSL Revival StarCraft League Season 3 qualifiers, America's qualifier, as we're jumping into our first series and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Late Lines. We have the yellow Terran player. We have the American Terran. It is Foxer. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our best of 3. And Foxer does open up with a little bit of a cheeky proxy. SB moves out and we'll be having the proxy here towards the top side of the map. Show us what you got. Also, Porforian asking in the chat, surprised Solar isn't playing in this. I mentioned before that a lot of the Korean Terrans are known for sleeping in on the weekend. Players like Byun, players like Kyor, players like Gumiho, very, very commonly known for that. Likewise, Solar, I would probably put in that kind of category as well. Now, not saying that that has to be the case. Maybe something else has popped up, but he's one of the more, like, for example, Solar at this time is usually KSL. Solar usually does not play in KSL, so it's one of those things where over the weekend, not uncommon for players to sleep in, either that or was unaware of the qualifier. Otherwise, I would agree. That he, some of the other Koreans would typically be here, but again, not at the best time for the Korean scene. A lot of them in bed. But here we go. Here we go. So we are settling in. So far, it is going to be proxy ranks. We have 2 ranks Reaper here out of Foxer. Reapers are moving out. Back at home, Bunny is going for a double gas opener. So very safe play at a Bunny. Double gas, faster factory as a result. Going for a delayed CC. Bunny, he's checking for proxies. Checks the third base location. Checks the center base. And should be checking the top side as well. Ooh, no, he's moving out. So Bunny has a very quick, very brief scout here nearby. This tells me that his first Reaper won't be at home to defend. Oh. And Foxer, he does have the opportunity to get some damage done. Reaper pokes in. Foxer goes to the CC. He will delay. Delays the command center at the same time. Ooh, do have a bit of a skirmish here, and I believe, yeah, Bunny shoots first. Bunny has a better trade. Foxer has the high ground. But the Hellions are popping out, and with the help of Hellions, Bunny should defend. But he will lose 2 SCVs. 2 SCV kills so far. Second Hellion is almost out. Double Reaper across the map. Oh, getting counter damage done. Picking up SCVs at the same time, diving in. But the Hellion's going to be able to hold its own. And 1 Hellion did fall. Oh, this is getting out of hand. Yeah, this is getting out of hand here. 4 or 5 SCV kills. So much lost mine time in the main. Foxer panicking a little bit here, losing far too much. He did go for the proxy factory, so he's all in. He's completely all in. He has to end the game with this army. Does get one of the Hellions. Gets 1, gets 2. Both Hellions go down. Oh no, he's getting cornered. He's getting cornered, barely slips away. Okay, he slips away, preserves the army. Kills more SCVs. Bunny will clean this up, but at a cost. He will lose a lot of workers here. As Bunny did turn around. He raced back home to defend. Checking the armies, we are neck and neck. Equivalent army sizes. Economy slightly in favor of Foxer. He's up to 22 SCVs, okay. Amidst of all this chaos, Foxer does take a worker lead. His army's a little bit weaker though. The Hellion did take extra shots. Oof. Slightly better trade here with Foxer. Does try to trade out. As Foxer, he will kill the Hellion. Nicely done. Takes down the Hellion, still rallying. Getting into Cyclone, but a double factory. Okay. Double factory, 1 base all in. Reinforcing with Cyclones. Meanwhile, Bunny is getting into a starport, getting into his own Viking production. That's going to be ideal defensively against this kind of army. Can he survive? as Bunny will lose everything. The Reapers, the Hellions, more boys are being pulled. A lot of SCVs going down, and folks, has he done it? Has he done it? Another Hellion arrives, takes down the Reaper. Oh my god. 7 SCV kills. We gotta keep going. The problem here is that, again, of course, Foxtree is all in. He is expanding behind this, but he needs to do more damage as a result. As a result of Bunny having 2 orbitals and 2 mules. Foxtree is so close. Un poquito más back. Un poquito más. Oh. Tries to dive in. Trading at the Hellions. This trade gets a look on off. Ah, but the Viking is here. Yeah, the Viking has arrived. You gotta respect the Viking. It's 9 more mining. Does deny the natural. Scan of the ramp. Cyclones, they dive in, they overwhelm the initial Viking. And Foxer, he guides back, he saves the Cyclone, he breaks through into the main base with the help of 2 Cyclones. He should overwhelm. Foxer should overwhelm. Oh, it does overextend, he'll bleed out one of the Cyclones, the other gets very low, barely gets away. Loken is crazy. Yeah, Loken is crazy, and Foxer, he's doing it. Kills 7 more SCVs. Diving on top of the final Cyclone. Repairs are a little bit too good. Cyclone will barely survive. Bunny's holding. He's holding one base, but what about the economy? 31 SCVs here for Foxer. Meanwhile, the GG gets called, and Foxer, he does overwhelm. He barely takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Foxer takes the lead in the series. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Krista, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope there was plenty of fisting. Oh no. But gracias, Krista, for Fista, for the support. Do appreciate it. For those that are just now tuning in, we are, of course, mid-series. We're here in the RSL Season 3 America's Server Qualifier. As a reminder, this is a server qualifier. This is not a region-locked qualifier. So players are coming in from all around the world. But of course, if you're from the Americas, you do have the server advantage. Foxer does take the first game. Very impressive. We'll see if we can take game number 2. We'll see if he can cause a massive upset and bring down Bunny. Of course, it was hyper aggression. Foxer went for a 1-base all-in, proxy racks, proxy factory, and even a second factory back at home. Was barely able to break through. GG. GG, well played. It was a very chaotic game. Very chaotic. But here we go. So we're getting into game number 2. Just catching up in the chat. Catching up. Exclamation mark puller. That's not a command here, Pipe. That's not a command. Europe hype? No. America's hype. Let's go. Let's go. But shout out to Bomyoja. Bomyoja, he is, of course, the other English stream. I believe he is hoping over to cover herO versus Percival, which is the upper qualifying match. Oh, which is already underway. So again, Percival, he's up against herO in that best of 5. So if you want to tune into herO versus Percival, that is going to be covered by Bomyoja. We, of course, are focusing on our side of the bracket instead. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the American Terran player. We have the American Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Foxer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. We go. I've been doing one base all-ins all day today as the D3 Terran and got back 200 MMR. Ah, you're just like Foxer. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. But there we go. For the time being, we are going to be calming things down. Welcome to Ultralove. Ultralove is a smaller map in the map pool. Aggression is still going to be very much so favored here. But this time, folks are opening up double gas. So is Bunny. We are seeing some safer, more tech-heavy starts. So we're going to calm things down here coming into game 2. Winding it back, one of the reasons why it works so well against Bunny is that Bunny did go for a more economic build last game, went for a faster natural CC, went for a delayed factory, and again, as a result, he was vulnerable to more aggression. Was vulnerable, if I recall correctly. But here we have mirrored builds. We have mirrored builds, no proxy, no shenanigans from either player. I'm sure this is also why Fox is playing safe, just because in his mind it's possible that Bunny might be retaliating with a proxy. There we go. Foxer does like his timing attacks. He does, he does. I mean, game 1 was a one base all in, but for sure, Foxer, he can be a very aggressive player. We'll see what the plan is going to be here coming into game 2. For now, building up into our natural bases. We can see Foxer is checking for proxies, so again, a little bit paranoid as to what's going on. Don't blame him. Checks at the third base before setting up on the high ground. Likewise, so does Bunny. Let's go. Both players are expanding. And we'll see where our players do initially start to deviate. When it comes to Ultralove, the third bases are very exposed, and we do expect to see aggression specifically at the third base. Winding it back here, the third base does not have any high ground to help defend. Whether it's the triangular third, whether it is the linear third base, the third base is more exposed, so aggression is more favored pushing into this, as there is no high ground advantage. Is no high ground advantage. As a result, we often do see a lot of engagements as players are attempting to take their third base in TVT. So we should be having a pretty tame start. After chaotic game 1, we're calming down here, we're settling in. We have our 1-1-1s. Bunny opening up with the early drop play, going for a delayed add-on on the starport. Meanwhile, Foxer going for the earlier Raven. Okay, so early Raven production here, or prioritizing Raven production, getting into his own interference matrix. Meanwhile, Bunny's going to be the aggressor with the drop, as he will soon move out across the map. We'll see if Foxer can keep up. As we do see Bunny getting a second Cyclone as well. Meanwhile, Foxer, he's done with Cyclone production, is going into early tanks instead. So 1 Cyclone into tanks, Bunny, 2 Cyclones. And you can see he's waiting for that second Cyclone. The army does move out across the map, but Bunny is pushing. Bunny, he is pushing. Does boost. And ideally, he wants to break that natural. We need the tank on the low ground. Ooh, Foxer, he does siege up in the main, so his natural is very exposed, and he's going to break through. Yeah, Bunny's going to break through. Lock-ons are brutal. Does zone away the Hellions, the Reapers, as if he's going to be going down. The tank was just out of position. As Foxer did not see this coming. Losing 2 SCVs, losing his Hellion Reaper, but he will hold on to the natural. So far, a better trade for Bunny. Dropping into the main. Foxer trying to keep up. Yeah, tank arrives just in time. Foxer defends. Whew. Now, what's important about this defense here is that Foxer didn't lose any of his key units. He preserved the tanks, right? The tanks have been preserved. The Cyclone has been preserved. The Ravens as well. Oh no! As 1 Cyclone is going to go down. Brutal lock-on on the Raven. Raven barely breaks the lock-on. As Bunny has a lot of micro potential with this army. Dropping into the main, and Foxer, he ignores it. He does ignore it. He moves out across the map. Boys are being pulled. As Vikings do arrive. And back at him, we can see Bunny getting in position. We spoke earlier how exposed the third base is, but the natural is very secure. Oh no, every extension throws away Raven. Yeah, Raven gets thrown away. Bit of miscontrol there by Foxer. Second Raven goes down. Ay, ay, ay. And Bunny's holding. Yeah, Bunny, he's holding. He snipes both Ravens. He still has two of his own. Brutal pickoffs. Yeah, Foxer has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Again, Foxer, he is committed. He has to do some counter damage. He is quite far behind. He's down in workers, down in Ravens. Does have the Viking lead at least, true. Yes, those Vikings. Boys are being pulled. Oh, just as he unsieges. A brutal moment here. There's the unsiege. Bunny can give chase. Thankfully, Foxer didn't lose anything. Third CC is on the way. Foxer getting called out. We're gonna make a stand. Lands the Vikings. Foxer, he will lose that tanks though. Yeah, tanks go down. Auto charge gets thrown down as well. Bunny will completely clean this up. GG gets called and Bunny ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. We are going to game 3 here. Again, a very intense moment. I mean, both players were getting into their early to mid game in a pretty even fashion here. Unfortunately, Foxer did miss the main army. If you remember, his army was split. His defensive army was split between his main base and his natural, so he was caught out of position. We saw that Bunny was able to just bum rush into the natural base with his Cyclones, break through and get some SCV kills, break through the Reapers, break through the Hellions, and did force a reaction out of Foxer. Unfortunately, most of his army was in the main and did take some losses early on. GG, well played. Did take some losses early, and with that, Bunny took a lead, and Bunny extended that lead as well. It was really unfortunate to see Foxer also fumble his assault. He did lose both Ravens. Both Ravens went down so early as well, and without his Ravens, he could not push in. But now we're getting into the ace match. We're getting into game 3, and we'll see how the story ends as we are loading into Tokamak for that final game. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the yellow Terran player. The yellow Terran being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back, and can he cause an upset here? It is Foxer. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. The South Korean Terran, the blue Terran for Team Falcons. It is Bunny. Here we go. And welcome one and all to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool, known for longer and later games. As a result, we do lean towards more economic builds here on Tokamak. I mean, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, we expect to see more greedy builds. At the same time, because it's so large, there are a lot of places to go for proxies. After what happened in game 1, yep, Bunny doesn't trust him. Double gas. Double gas opener out of Bunny. Bunny is being very safe. Bunny is going for a fast factory. He's going for a later CC. Meanwhile, Foxer, economic start, 1 gas. So I do like this. Foxer, he's being a little bit more economic. He's being more greedy. He will have the better economy early on. And the pressure is going to be on Bunny to punish. Bunny should be the aggressor coming into this game. And Foxer is going to be the defender. Players, they do deviate early. There it is, CC on the low ground. The Bunny is fully aware. Factory is on the way. And again, the pressure is on Bunny to punish this. Pressure is on. So, if Foxer wins against Bunny, you shall dance despacito on stream. Este 007. Calm down, buddy, calm down. As, Bunny does take the better engage. Did shoot first. Foxer has to back off. Thankfully, does not lose the Reaper. Thankfully. Is able to pull away. Meanwhile, Hellion production underway for Bunny. Does rally in. Oh. A bit of micro battle. Foxer does come out on top. Very nice. Foxer takes on the first Reaper. Does own Bunny away. So far, so good. Este Foxer. Likewise, he rotates, he shoots first. Yeah, Foxer does shoot first. Dominates the first two Reapers. The second Reaper does go down. And he has to be careful though. Yeah, it does chase up the ramp. Ooh, will take some extra volleys. Yeah, it does overextend. It was a better start for Foxer, but bleeds out a Reaper towards the end. Has to pull back, has to calm down. Behind this, a Bunny has held, and Foxer was going into add-ons. If Foxer was rallying, if he was rallying more Reapers and more Hellions, you could make an argument there that he could have broken through those those Hellions and actually pushed into the natural base. There was a chance, but Foxer did opt to go for add-ons, so he did not have reinforcements, did not have that momentum. Was not able to capitalize on that momentum. So some better initial skirmishes out of Foxer, but again, we're slowing things down, we're building up. We have Ravens on the way, Cyclones on the way. Bunny is going for early tank production, so just one Cyclone into tanks. And we're building up. Foxer with an economic lead. Yes, if you recall, that was implied with the opener. Remember, it was a Rax expand out of Foxer, so he had a greedier opener. That's why we were emphasizing that the pressure was on Bunny to be the aggressor, to be able to deal some counter damage, to be able to make up for the opener. Which Bunny did fail to do. As from here, we're building up. And we'll see when and if our players do expand. We do have two more ranks on the way here from Foxer getting into a 3-1-1 setup. Meanwhile, from the side of Bunny, we are banking up those minerals, and we'll see if the plan is to go for a command center, which is kind of what we're leaning towards. Oh, okay. Bunny, he's going to cut Raven production at 2. So he's going to cut it 2 Ravens, and that is a second starport. Let's go. Bunny going for a 2-port, 2-base all-in. Oh boy, a little bit old school here. If you recall, we did actually see this earlier this morning, actually, if I recall correctly, with Percival as well, with Percival versus Nicaract. But yes, 2-port, 2-base all-in. This hits quite hard. Now the goal, the purpose of this build is to go into massive Viking production. Make 3 Vikings at a time, and then the big power spike for the Terran is with Liberator support. And because you have the Viking lead, the Liberator will be safe and will be able to bully the ground army. Again, this does hit quite hard. This is an old school build from a couple of years ago, and Foxer, we'll see if he can keep up. We'll see if he can scout what's going on. Ideally, if you can scout this ahead of time, you do want to go into your own second starport production. As Bunny is very committed, again, he's 2-base all in. Tank volley's going off. Yeah, big tank shots. Disables come in, Foxer gets caught out, and he will lose both tanks. Yeah, tries to back off, brutal pickoffs. Vikings able to back the Ravens. We spoke about the Liberator. Liberator's on the way, boys are being pulled, Foxer getting desperate. Liberation is coming. Yeah, tank volley's going up. Behind this now we have a delayed 3rd CC out of Bunny, but it doesn't matter because he's going for the kill, he's going for the natural. Tanks that within range of the CC. That does force a lift. Boys are being pulled and Foxer, it's all or nothing. He tries to break out. Oh, we dropped the tables from behind. Not bad. He disables from behind. Nicely done. Gets on top of the tanks. Nice fight here by Foxer. Very nice. We got a counterattack. We gotta go. We have to send it. We have to send it across the map. Again, shout out to the MVP. Raven coming in from behind. Crazy. So nice fight with a Raven, and we have to go. Like, we're all in. Foxer is completely all in. He has to counterattack. The boys are being pulled. Back at home, Bunny getting a CC on the low ground. Now, bearing in mind, we cannot waste the time at the third base. Like, the third base is just to buy time. We have to push into the main, into the natural. Send it, Pappy, send it. Keep going. Yeah, there's a scan. Again, 2 tanks. Only 2 tanks to defend. And Foxer, he may have just done it here. Foxer, unfortunately, supply blocked. So, no reinforcements. He spreads. The tank is going to go down. There's 1 tank left on the high ground. Oof. Getting into 2 tanks. Bunny stuck on 1 base. Foxer no longer supply blocked. And he's containing Bunny on 1 expansion. Yeah, it does contain. Rallying more across the map. Stims in. Ooh, there's the Unsieged. Yeah, it does catch him Unsieged. Barely takes down the Liberator. Yeah, Liberator goes down. And Foxer, what he has to do, he does not have to push into the main. At this point, deny the natural. Just deny the natural base. That's the win condition. There is 1 Raven for Bunny. He can disable. He can disable 1 of the tanks. Liberator has arrived. Ooh. It does catch out both tanks. Brutal losses. Brutal pickoffs there. Both tanks do go down. Bunny does re-expand. And on the one hand, Bunny, now he does re-expand, he re-establishes his own natural base, he has a higher worker count, that is true, but remember, Foxer has a 3rd CC. Foxer, he has a 3rd orbital here, he has extra mules, he can make 3 SCVs at a time. Foxer still has the better economy. So he has a greater economy here. Likewise, he has the better upgrades with +1. And Foxer just has to calm down, to be honest. Like, in this kind of game state, Foxer can just focus on saturating his 3rd base, gaining map control. He does not have to push in. He does not have to push into the bases here. He does not have to try to break the natural or break the main. It can be really risky, doesn't want to lose too much. Bunny does have his own 3rd base as well in the main, but still stuck in the main base, still stuck on 2 bases. Liberators, they do harass, they do deny mining. There's not too much at home to defend. Ooh, and Foxer is a little bit... There we go. Does resaturate his gases. Some of them. As Liberators, they can be so annoying to deal with. Liberator into the main. Foxer is rallying across the map, so he has nothing to defend. SCVs are falling. Foxer falling apart a little bit here. Falling apart a little bit. That's 11 kills on the Liberator. Ay, ay, ay. Foxer, he should have an economic lead, but he's down to 35 workers, down 10 SCVs. And he's still rallying across the map. Meanwhile, here come the drop play. As I mentioned before, like Foxer, his goal here should just be to focus on defense and keep an eye on the 3rd. But he doesn't have any defenses back at home. Rallies everything, which means Bunny, he can cripple the economy. Yeah, he stims in, he stims in. Foxer pulls away. There's not much to defend, he might have to just pull the boys. And Foxer, he didn't have to do this, but it looks like he's going for an all-in. And he's going to be pushing into, what, 5 siege tanks? Like, Foxer cannot do this. Oh, God. As more SCVs go down. Again, Foxer, we just had to chill at home. Like, we just had to chill at home. Oh, God. Oh, no. Don't do it. Don't push into the natural, Pappy. Now, we can see that Foxer, he isn't. He's waiting for this. Okay. Here comes the move out. Can he catch the army unsieged? Tank shot's going off. He stims in. Oh, he does stim in. Tanks do siege up, and he will barely break through the tank line. Not the cleanest fight here from Foxer, but he will break through. And cleans up all the tanks. Whew. It was worth it. It was worth it. Shuts down the main army. Aye, aye, aye. Boys are being pulled. Tanks, they can move in. Oh, we do have a drop coming in from behind though. Yeah, drop does come in. But Foxer, he will clean this up. He still has the better upgrades. I say that Foxer's going to be forced back, and we still have a very intense game state here. Bunny landing his third base, but Bunny, his tank count was reset. Foxer, he's rallying. He wants to end the game. He wants to end it. Oh, can he kill the CC? It's going to be close. Yeah, he will. Nice sniper on the command center. Containing Bunny here on 2 bases. Snipes the Viking. Viking goes down. Foxer does have the worker lead. The main is floating over. Let's go. Floating over the main base. As Bunny, he has built up his tank count. He actually has a higher tank count than Foxer. He's got 4 tanks here on the front lines. I would say the best that Foxer could hope for is maybe drop play, but he doesn't have really many medivacs. He only has 1. Oh, he's going to try to rotate. Vikings are spotting. An extra pair of medivacs have arrived. Foxer still has a lead, but he will miss the drop. And again, pushing into a turtling Terran is not easy. Thankfully, does leave some units to defend. Upgrades are even. Oof. Yeah, better engage for Bunny. And again, even if you have a supply lead, you need quite a substantial lead to try to break this position. I would say it's not worth it. Like, it's not worth trying to stim and trying to rush into this position. There's 6 pre-siege tanks and a Liberator. Vikings are on patrol to deny any kind of drop play. Double drop gets spotted. Like, Foxer needs to calm down. He needs to just calm down, back off, and build up and get a 4th. Bunny's way of recovering is his drop play, and he has been doing a lot of damage. Okay, Foxer, he turns around. Turns around, he backs off. I'm sure the nerves are kicking in. Foxer will be the first to max. Likewise, Foxer is getting the better upgrades. He's getting 2 upgrades up and running. Drop into the main. This time, Foxer's ready. Starting up 3-3 as well. Now, when it comes to TVT, a lot of it does come down to positional play. Speaking of, Bunny does go for the mass on Siege. And we'll see who sieges first. Army supplies are comparable. Bunny the first siege, cashing out the tanks. They're getting 1, getting 2 tank pickoffs. Yeah, 2 tanks go down. Foxer has to be careful. Does scan ahead of time. Bunny's army is terrifying. He's got 9 tanks. Yeah, Liberators, they do push forward. Marines have to be so careful not to get within tank range. Tanks do try to siege. Foxer, he does hold on to the ram, just barely. And does try to hold on. Bunny is working his way through. Again, he has 9 tanks behind this. Foxer down to 0. But he can try to stim in. Okay, pulling away. Does pull away. Foxer's out of position. Forced to lift with his third CC. Just a really awkward position here for Foxer. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, he just zoned away from his base. He's in the way, he's panicking a little bit. Goes to the counter attack, but Bunny, he's ready back at home. Oof. Full medevac goes down. And Foxer, he will barely get on top of the tanks. Yeah, he does get on top. Oh my god. He gets one. One is not worth it. Can he get two? He does. He gets 2 tanks, but he will lose 4 medevacs. Oh god. Yeah, very extensive trade. Same time, Foxer cleaning up a couple more. There we go. 3, 4 tanks go down. Better fight for Foxer. Takes down the Liberator. Has to pull back. Still very tense. Very tense. Bunny has been having better fights, but Foxer has had a better economy, so he's had a large army to work with. Tanks, they do reposition, they do re-siege. Foxer pulling the boys. And nice target firing with the tanks. Yeah, very nice target firing. The Marines are going down. The SCVs go down as well. Bunny, he breaks through. Once again, Bunny, he was intentionally target firing the Marines instead of the SCVs. And Bunny's clawed his way back in. Again, impressive play by Foxer, as he was so close to just killing Bunny twice in this game. It was Bunny clawing his way up from behind. Boys are being pulled. Pulls back to the tanks. Tanks, they just annihilate the army. Yeah, the Marines are going down one after the other. GG gets called, and Bunny, he will overwhelm. He will bounce back, and Bunny will take the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Impressive comeback here out of Bunny. Again, Bunny, despite being far behind in the economy, he did fight his heart out there with out-controlling, out-microing, out-positioning Foxer. Part of it, it did seem like nerves. Like, Foxer, he was ahead, he was in a better position, and you could see him slipping up a little bit here and there. Like, again, going up against Bunny, who's a legendary player, he's been competing for a very, very long time, has a bunch of, like, notoriety behind him as well, so it did feel like maybe a little bit of nerves kicked in as well towards the end there for Foxer. I mean, throughout the game, I should say. And GG, well played. Shout out to Foxer. Foxer, he played well. He played really well to take a lead, to get ahead, but again, did fumble a little bit when it did matter most towards the middle of the game. Bunny, he was able to claw his way back in. Impressive play there by Bunny. I should also emphasize that as well, that it was really impressive to see that despite Bunny being in a really rough position, he was very tenacious. Very tenacious. Did fight back. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Bunny, as we do have our qualifying match. We have our qualifying match here. It is going to be a best of five between Bunny and Shameless. Let's go. That's good. He's catching up. Foxer really made Bunny work for it. He did. Like, again, Bunny was playing from behind. Like, I need to emphasize that. Like, Bunny, he was behind in that game. He was in a really rough place, but clawed his way back in. Very impressive play there. Very impressive play there by Bunny. And GG. And again, shout out to Foxer, because again, he was able to get himself in a better position in a series against Bunny. Not easy feat whatsoever. Not easy. GG. Yeah. So big shout out to Foxer. There's definitely a world out there where he could have taken that series as well, for sure. And I'm sure he knows it as well. I'm sure this is going to be a big, I would say, motivating factor for Foxer, being like, hey, like I can take it to Bunny. Just got to tighten up. He's got it in him, Pat. Got it in him. As I know that Foxer's been on that grind and has a lot of potential as a player. For sure. So best of luck to Foxer. Best of luck. As we are getting ready for that final series here, I say final series, quickly going over towards the brackets, we have the upper qualifying match, herO and Percival. They're currently facing off in a best of 5. They're facing off in a best of 5 as we speak. They're being casted by Bomyolja. Meanwhile, Shameless took down Creator 2-1 in that best of 3 PvP, and we have Shameless versus Bunny in that best of 5. Here we go. Likewise, if you do see some of these players not quite making it through, I mean, bearing in mind there are other qualifiers, right? We have the European qualifier in around like 6 hours time. We have the Korean or the Asia qualifier as well, where we could see the return of some of these players that don't quite make it through. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Let's go. No Zergs again. I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I believe RSL has some invites, so even if Zerg players don't make it through the qualifiers, like, I'm sure we'll be getting some invites and some seeded players from the previous season. Wait, do they have invites? I need to double check. Oh yeah, they have the fan voting. Yeah. So it'll be okay. As you see Bunny going double gas. Okay, so double gas opener to Bunny going for a faster factory. Likewise, Shameless going for a standard opener back at home. And again, if you're in the chat, predictions, they're about to close, so make sure you place your bets while you can. Coming into this, Bunny is the favorite player, but of course, Shameless, he is he was the rising star of 2024. He is a young up-and-comer. He's been getting better and better results. He's one of like the next generation of pro gamers over in Europe. I'll say players like Shameless, players like GG Machine have been improving a lot. Have been getting up there. I would have said Eba, but he's but he's too busy smurging, Pat. Too busy smurging. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Oh, hello. As Bunny is setting up back at home, going for his add-ons. Let's go Reaper first. Due to the add-ons, he's not going Reaper Hellion, going into Reactor Marine, into early Cyclone. Keep an eye on Bunny. Coming into this matchup here, we do expect Bunny to be hyper aggressive. He's known to be such, especially in this matchup specifically, for 2-base aggression, 3-base timings. Bunny isn't really one to embrace a long late game in TVP. He's not like Bjorn. Bjorn is very unique in that respect. Where Bjorn, he's willing to play more defensively, go for a slower style, and just back off and turtle up. The other Koreans are typically much more aggressive, much more assertive. Speaking of, here comes the tank. We're expecting a medevac, and we can go for the early move out. Yep, there we go. Medevac's on the way. We're going for the tank drop. So, hyper aggression, early timing, early push here by Bunny. He's about to load up and rally everything across the map. And it's on Shameless to scout what's going on, to figure out what's happening. Foxtrot hates Despacito. True, true. As the army gets spotted, Seamus is now aware, and ideally he wants to force the early siege. Needs to engage ahead of time. Tank takes a couple of shots. Cyclone does punish, gets one Stalker, nicely done. And Bunny's going in, he's going in. Ooh, does siege pretty far back. Yeah, he does siege too far back, out of range of anything. Slowly moving forward. Robo's still on the way. Charge is complete. And with early charge there, we can collapse on this army. Zell saved out with the Marines. Tank is exposed, so tank will go down, and Shameless holds. Shameless, he cleans up the army. Chases Bunny back. He doesn't even force the land of the Viking. And Bunny is not backing off. He wants to keep going. Okay. Pulls away. He pulls away, and overall, this was a better trade for Shameless. Looking at the trades here, he got the tank, got the Marines. He did lose one Sentry, one Stalker, and mainly Zealots. So a nice cleanup out of Shameless. I didn't emphasize it, but I should have. He did go for a charge-based opener, which is ideal against defending against early tank pushes. And Shameless has momentum as he moves out. Oh, drop into the main. Bold move. Does go for the drop. Across the map, there's only one tank to defend. Can he get on top of the tank? Oh, he barely can. Whew, tank goes down. But Bunny will hold. Yeah, Bunny, he will hold on. At the same time, depowers the Robo. Oh, it's going to be a one-way trip. Loses two tanks. These are expensive losses here for Bunny. Does lose both tanks. We're getting messy. We're getting messy, man. Messy. Shameless does go for a gateway explosion. Storm is on the way. Shameless taking into Storm and getting into his own gateways. At the same time, Bunny across the map is building up extra axes. Ooh, getting up to 5. So basically, Bunny had a choice to make. Either throw down 2 more Raxes or get a 3rd TC. One or the other. And we are committing into a 5-rack setup. That's quite committed here on 2 bases. We'll see if he gets any add-ons. If he gets add-ons, it's indicative of getting a 3rd TC behind this. Otherwise, he has the option to pull the boys. Let him actually move out. Boosting into the main. Okay, add-ons are on the way. So Bunny can still expand. He can still go for the 3rd base. Meanwhile, very nice drop into the main base, completely unscouted. Ooh, 7 probes go down. Here come the mine shots. Ooh, catching up the Zealots. And the probes that come back too soon. Shameless. Yeah, a little bit careless here. Oh no, he comes back too soon. He will lose everything. 16 probe kills. Bunny comes in from the right-hand side, and he will break the 3rd as well. Shameless completely out of position. Storms are coming in. We force out all the storms. And Bunny, he's doing it. 20 probe kills, insane damage. Shameless, he barely does hold on. Behind this, bearing in mind, still no 3rd base. Remember, Bunny, he's been very committed on 2 bases. He does do some critical damage, but he's going to keep going. Does have to keep going. There's 2 Templar left, limited storms. Limited storms for Shameless. Bunny's moving in. There's the first storm. Ooh, Jesus, he stands in the storms. Shameless collapsing on those Marines. Another storm is coming in. And with that, Shameless does take the fight. At the same time, drop here towards the right-hand side. Leading out 5 probes. Ooh, Shameless getting caught out. The drops do continue. Just continue, another 10 probe kills. And Bunny is getting his third base. It's very late. It's a very late third, but again, he's making up for it. He's trying to. Bunny has killed 30 probes so far this game. But he's still going to keep going. I gets caught out. Yeah, Shameless goes for the counterattack. And can he shut down the third? Yeah, Shameless, he breaks out. He breaks out across the map. But again, it's been nice economic damage, but Bunny's been all in. And he doesn't kill. Yeah, he does not kill. GG gets called. Bunny, he is overwhelmed. And Shameless takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. An intense game 1 here again. Bunny, he was committed. He went up to 5 ranks on 2 bases. It was on him to kill Shameless. Now, I had thought that killing 30 probes would be enough to actually macro out of it, but the answer was no. Shameless, he maintained his gateway army. He did punish Bunny for not killing him. GG, well played. Shameless takes the lead. Whew. GG, well played. Shameless does take a lead in the series, and oh, sorry. There we go. To fix up the score. And we'll see if he can extend his lead. We'll see if he can extend it. As we're loading into ley lines. Shameless still in lead, IMO. Yes, as we mentioned, Bunny was all in. He was hoping to kill or at least cripple. Here we go. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom head corner of ley lines, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Little Fairy, leading the series 1-0. It is Shameless. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Falcons. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of it. It is Bunny. We go. As we are going to be building up. And again, what we saw in game 1 is kind of what we expect out of Bunny. As we mentioned at the very beginning of the series, Bunny, he's typically a much more aggressive and assertive player in this matchup. We expect to see 2 base all-ins, 3 base timings. That is what is expected out of Bunny. We're loading into ley lines, which is a little bit more middle of the road when it comes to the size of the map itself. The 3rd and 4th bases are relatively accessible, so we'll see if Bunny goes for another form of aggressive build. Or if he plays macro. Eyes are on Bunny. Likewise, at a Shameless, we don't really expect to see another charge opener out of our Protoss. Opening up charge makes a lot of sense on maps like Ultralove and maps like Pylon. The 2 maps I just mentioned are they do favor all-ins and they favor aggression, so it makes sense to be overly safe when it comes to your tech. But as we load into ley lines and some of the other larger maps, we should be calming down. Go. Again, we have our single gas opener out of Bunny, faster CC, economic start. And we're waiting for our tech of choice. Once we get into larger maps, we can start talking about potentially Stargate openers, or even opening up Robo as well. But here on ley lines, we're leaning more towards Twilight Council into Blink. Is what is expected. As we have the Sentry follow-up, going for the Hallucination Scouts, take of choice, Twilight Council out of Shameless. Here comes that Hallucination. Bunny back at home, getting to his own 1-1-1. There's no fast Tech Lab, there's no fast Cyclone. Reaver Scout is denied. And the hallucination gets in. Confirms no add-ons, confirms there's still no Tech Lab on Set Factory. Is going to be a Widowmine drop follow-up. We spoke earlier last game about how last game Bunny went for the early medevac into tank production, into early tank drop. That is not the case here. Ooh, snipes the Sentry though, not bad. Sentry goes down, no safety shield battery. Shameless gets punished. And Bunny's gonna use his own 3-1-1 setup. Here comes a mine drop. Once again, our eyes are going to be open for the timing of extra Raxes, of any third TC. Our eyes are on the follow-up. Bunny does follow up with the Raven. So continued harassment. Nigel comes in. Shameless, he does pull away. Base at the mines. Base at 1, base at 2. Not bad. So Shameless, he defends well. And behind this, throwing down extra gateways. He already had a third, so 2 gate blink into a third. A very economic build here by Shameless. Going into delayed gates. Quite greedy. This is something that we don't really see too often, but to be fair, has been making a resurgence in recent weeks. Going 2 gate blink again. So Shamelessly does have a more greedier and economic build getting into the mid game. Pressure is on Bunny. Pressure is on the Terran. As we have a Raven harass. This game, Shameless is not going into Storm. He's going into Colossus production. Bunny, he doesn't throw down extra access. Third TC's on the way. We're building up into the mid game. Let's go. Bunny, of course, still being active, going for his drop play. As he barely does avoid those stalkers. Pylons in position. Observer, I believe, does spot the third CC. Also spots the move out. Shameless knows. Ooh, forced to recall. Yeah, forced to recall back home, which means he doesn't engage with the main army. But again, he should be aware of what's coming his way. Yep, he's warping in. He's warping in, so far good reactions. Solid reactions here out of Shameless. Auto tower stay due to nice mining. Bird's gonna be going down, diving on the tank. Does he get it? Oh, no quite. Tank does get away. Ooh, brutal mine connection. Brutal mine, but at least Shameless does engage ahead of time. Slows down the bush. Nice spin control. Yeah, tank should go down. Oh my god. Mine shots are still brutal. But Shameless holds. Shameless, he does hold on. Bunny has to back off. Harass continues. Melee reaction, getting 1, getting 2. Getting 3 probes, Jesus. And now we're getting into said mid-game here. Bunny doesn't break his opponent, but we do get, what, 7 probe kills in total. Adds some damage. Likewise, 4th base is late for Shameless. True, late 4th base. As Shameless was fixated on defense. Not surviving. So economically, I would say that Bunny is now in a better position. At least currently, at least until the 4th base gets up. So nice damage overall out of Bunny. It wasn't necessarily about the damage that was dealt, but more so about the attention span or attention of Shameless. He was being pulled apart, forced to defend, forced to focus on his army, as Macro did fall by the wayside a little bit there. And coming into the mid game, I do favor Bunny currently. Now from here, Shameless, he can secure his 4th base, and he can start to afford further splash damage, referring to a 2nd Robo into Disruptors or Storm to join his Colossus. Bunny's miming out. The goal should be to deny the 4th. He gets spotted. Shameless forced to recall. Yeah, he's out of position. The Colossus are ready. Zelsay do catch reinforcements though, okay. He stims in. Oh no, he stims in. One Colossus goes down instantly. And Bunny, he does it. Bunny, he breaks the 4th. As you mentioned, Bunny has had a better economy. He's got the larger army, and he just overwhelms the forces here of Shameless. Zelsay catching reinforcements. They do get some SCV kills, but the main army cannot be stopped. The main army will not be stopped. Breaks the 4th, moving in. And again, just really nice aggressive play here in the lead up to this moment for Bunny. To be able to distract, to delay the 4th base. From here he stims in. He wants the Colossus. He wants it. And up. It barely doesn't quite get it. Kills 30 probes. Now he's rallying across the map. And we do have a series here. We do have a back and forth. As Shameless should not be able to hold on. The final Colossus goes down. Here come the reinforcements. And Shameless just has nothing to defend. Down to a handful of gateway units. Full assaults, handful of stalkers. GG gets called, and Bunny, he will type the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. As you mentioned, Bunny, he was hyper aggressive in the early to mid game before he took his 3rd base. I mean, when he was just pushing in towards the main or dropping into the main base, pushing towards the 3rd base as well. He didn't kill Shameless, but he was containing Shameless. He was trading. He was getting some probe kills. He got 7 probe kills in total, and more importantly, he made sure that Shameless was stuck on 3 bases. In the end, Bunny took an economic lead that translated into a supply lead. With that, he was able to overwhelm, and GG. GG, well played. Now we're getting into game number 3. Here we go. So we're getting into game 3. Solid push. I mean, sure. As we mentioned, it was the lead up to the push here. The fact that Shameless was stuck on 3 bases. Ideally, as a Protoss, you want to be ahead in expansion to be able to keep up with the economy of the Terran. But he was stuck on 3, was out macroed, was overwhelmed. Now here we go. So loading into Tokamak. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. We'll see if he can bounce back as he's forced into a tied series. It is Shameless. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. Go and welcome one all to Tokamak, and this is where I do favor the Protoss, typically in TVP. So welcome to one of the largest maps in the map pool. Welcome to a very safe, the most defensive map in the map pool. Welcome to Tokamak, a very large map, long rush distance by ground, and a much more defendable 3rd and 4th expansions. Here on this map, it is very common for Protoss players to successfully get away with greedier builds, 4 base setups, and map control as well. It is on these smaller maps like Ultralove, like Ley Lines, like Pylon as well, where we do favor Terran's aggression, as aggression is favored on those maps. Here it's going to be more difficult for Bunny to be as aggressive and as assertive, so we'll see how Bunny will adjust his approach. It is not uncommon to see Terran players be hyper greedy and go for faster 3rd bases on Tokamak, but we'll see. Likewise, we'll see if Bunny goes into Mech. Mech has been seen in recent times on the latest patch. So far, we've seen Clem play Mech, we've seen Ryung play Mech, and I think we might have seen Cure play Mech as well. So we have seen a Mech make a resurgence here, not Battle Mech. I should emphasize that. Battle Mech, of course, is weaker, as they did fix the Cyclone, but we have seen a more traditional form of Mech instead. I will say that typically, though, we do see that on maps like Pylon. Pylon's a very strong map to embrace Mech. It's a possibility here, but I don't really know if Bunny's really one to whip that out. So our eyes are on the blue Terran. Oh, hello. Bunny, he does open up with the faster tech lab, so Marine into fast tech lab. From here, we'll see if we go for the add-on swap or if we go for the early Marauder production, as this was a more economic opener. Shameless going for the proxy. So no Marauders, add-on swap into early Cyclone. So Cyclone based opener here by Bunny. Shameless does open up 3 gates. So a couple things that are happening here. First things first, remember, it was an economic start out of Bunny going for the faster CC, and Bunny, he does not scout. No SCV scout, he skipped his Reaper, and of course he skipped his Hellion as well. So 0 scouting information out of Bunny. At the same time, Shameless delays his tech. Really fast 3rd gateway, proxy gateway, so his blink or charge or his tech in general is going to be late this game in favor of early warp-ins, in favor of this early push. The goal here is going to be to take over the natural. So we're waiting for Warp Gate to finish. Warp Gate is just now finishing up. Gateways are warping in. And we can soon reinforce. Here we go. Warping in 3 Stalkers at a time. Shameless pushing into the natural. Cyclone is a little bit further back in the main. Ooh, and we did have the add-on swap, so no early tanks. SCVs are going to go down. He's going for the Cyclone. He wants it. Cyclone gets low. Hot pickup saves the Cyclone at least. SCVs are going down, and this is getting a little bit out of hand here. 3 SCV kills. Gets through. Oh no! Oh, Cyclone goes down, and Bunny does overextend. Miscontrol out of Bunny. Yeah, without that Cyclone, he cannot mine from the natural base, and Shameless, so far this build has paid for itself. Takes over the natural, Blink is on the way, and Bunny is stuck on 1 base. Stuck on 1 base. Again, it all played into each other, right? Bunny, he didn't scout across the map, wasn't aware what was going on, he was being quite greedy himself, he opened up Cyclone into add-on swap, which means his tanks were heavily delayed. And with that, Shameless rushes into a 3rd. So he's rushing into a 3rd. Rushing into the expansion. Shameless just being hyper greedy behind this. And Bunny does eventually re-expand, but Shameless has a very comfortable economic lead. Very comfortable. As Bunny stuck at home. Bunny stuck at home. It's going to be on Shameless to successfully contain Bunny as well. To keep up with the drops, to keep up with the counterattacks. Now Bunny, because he's taken so much damage, he may decide to throw down 2 more Raxes and just turn this into an all-in. Like that might just be the go-to, the plan here for Bunny. As he goes to the Mass on Siege, he's moving out. Stim is still on the way. Bunny's hoping to catch any stray units here in the center of the map. Observer will spot Bunny. And Sheamus needs warp-ins. You can see Sheamus getting in position. It's a Marine. Gets two. Two Marines go down. Yep, the boys are being pulled. Two base all in. Two base all in out of Bunny. It's all or nothing. He took too much damage early on, so he has to end the game here and now. Either he kills Sheamus or he dies trying. So far, nice kiting. Nice kiting at Sheamus, picking off, what, 5 Marines. And if need be, Sheamus can give up on the third. Charge is not ready. Charge is not ready. Boys being pulled away. See Sheamus coming in from behind. He barely does miss the tank. Does catch Marines. Oh. Marines are getting pulled out. Bunny pushing in. Sheamus gets supply block. Now is not the time. Ooh, brutal supply block. Charge is finishing up in 3 seconds. Stalkers, they come in from behind. And Sheamus, he'll have to pull the boys. Again, he's getting pylons. The supply block might just kill him. He needs the supply. Boys are being pulled. Little tank shots on the Stalkers. Yeah, nice retarget firing here out of Bunny. The Immortal stuck behind. Yeah, no DPS out of the Immortal, and Bunny's done it. Bunny, he does it. He breaks on through. He breaks the natural. Again, brutal supply block for Sheamus and brutal engage as well. And GG gets called. Sheamus does not have enough. Bunny, he will overwhelm. He will take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Bunny does take the 2-1 lead. Again, Bunny, he did have a really shaky start at the start of the game, which is why he was forced into the all-in. Sheamus did scout it coming ahead of time. He was able to engage ahead of time, but as you mentioned, it was a really rough moment to be supply blocked. He couldn't reinforce with his army. He couldn't warp in. Likewise, it was really unfortunate for Sheamus to miss that first tank. I'm referring to when he came in for the backstab. When he tried to catch reinforcements, he did miss the tank. He wasn't quite able to catch the units that he was hoping for. Wasn't quite able to delay. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. Whew, Bunny does snowball out of control, and with that, Bunny is 1 game away from claiming the series. We'll see if Sheamus can recover. Ooh, that is crazy though, as what were the vetoes? I mean, it's a best of 5. Up next, Torches. Torches is known for all-ins. Winding it back, if you remember, I did mention how I do favor someone like Sheamus, or I do favor Protoss typically on these larger maps, as all-ins are less effective. Despite that, still did work out here, barely for Bunny. Coming into Torches, this is where the rush distance by ground is shorter. This is where all-ins are more effective. We'll be getting into it when it comes to the features of the map itself. Yes, we have the go bases. More importantly, we have a short rush distance by air, very short by air. So we do often see Banshee play be quite effective here, drop play in general be quite effective. But there's also specifically a really crucial part of the map in between, a really crucial area in between the natural and the third, that you can kind of wedge yourself in between and kind of outposition your opponent. So we'll see. We'll see how Sheamus will approach this map. We'll see how, if he opens up more defensively, if he opens up charge, if he opens up Stargates. We'll see. The boys are undefeated. Yeah, the boys are pretty good. Pretty good. But it looks like our players need some time. They do need some time here. I'm more than happy to wait. Likewise, let's go. Likewise, we already have, I believe, our first qualified player. Bomyoja has joined us, and quickly checking the bracket here, I believe herO, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, herO, he does take the series 3-0, and herO, he is the first player to qualify for the 3rd season of RSL, or the Revival StarCraft League. We're here to determine the 2nd and final player to qualify in this qualifier. As a reminder, we still have more qualifiers ahead of us. We still have the European qualifier, we have the Asia qualifier. There is no global qualifier, bear that in mind. So just 3 qualifiers. And then invites. When it comes to the invites, there are going to be some invited players from the previous season, but there's also going to be a fan vote. There's going to be a fan vote for who you want to take part and who you want to take place. I believe the players limited to the fan votes are the players that specifically did sign up for the qualifiers and did compete in the qualifiers. So you can't just like vote for anyone. And the fan vote is also restricted. It is restricted and limited to Patreons, the patrons of the RSL. So that'll also factor in. How do the regional qualifiers work? These are not regional qualifiers, these are server qualifiers. So once again, this is the America's server qualifier. Because it's a server qualifier, it means it is open to all. Regional qualifiers are different as they are region locked. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Torches, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself, representing Team Little Fairy down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. Can he force the ace match? It is Shameless. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player, the South Korean Terran representing Team Falcons. 1 game away from claiming the series. It is Bunny. Here we go. Whew. But yes, the way that the server qualifiers work is that the time of the tournament taking place is more ideal for said server. So for example, right now it's really late in Europe. So a special shout out to Shameless. Special shout out because I believe in Europe it's like 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning. Like Shameless, he went full degen. Full degen. I think he started playing, I think the tournament started like at 4 a.m. for him, like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. So it is very late / early for Shameless. But Shameless, he is one of those like full degens, and I mean there's a reason why Shameless is the only European to actually sign up for this tournament. Because everyone else is asleep, everyone else is in bed. Same with like the Koreans, for example. We spoke about it earlier, but there are a lot of Koreans that do sleep in, especially on the weekend. So that's why Byun wasn't here, that's why Kure wasn't here, herO, like a lot of the Korean Terrans, and we're speculating players like Solar as well, typically are in bed, as this tournament did begin at 11 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday. Here we go. Meanwhile, big shout out to Frosty Disco in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 2 months. Thank you for the support. Do appreciate it, as we are going to be opening up so far economic opener out of Bunny, ranks expand. Meanwhile, standard opener out of Shameless. But welcome one and all to Torches. Hello. Welcome to Torches. Torches has a very short rush distance by ground, short rush distance by ground, short rush distance by even shorter by air, by the way. So because of the shorter rush distance, we do often see players making use of that airspace, I should say. We have seen a lot of Banshee base play, a lot of drop base play on this map. As a result, the meta did shift, and we saw a lot of Stargate openers, a lot of Stargate Phoenix openers to hard counter the Banshees, to hard counter the drops. Then, because there was a rise in surgence, or rise in popularity of Stargate play, then we saw a lot of 2-base all-ins to punish Stargate openers. So the meta has been shifting quite a bit on Torches. Here, Shameless does open up Twilight Council. Does go for the Twilight Council opener. We do have the gold bases in the center. These gold bases are typically not really seen as often in this matchup in TVP. In a longer mid-game scenario, Protoss players do often take the golds. That is true if they're able to gain map control. But what is more important is this area here in between the natural and third base. Unfortunately, on this map, I would say that third base options are very limited. It is uncommon for Protoss players to expand on the low ground or expand on the right-hand side, so this is the only third base option for the Protoss, and it is very common for these big tank pushers to wedge themselves here in between the bases and to cut off the third from the natural. You see it quite often on Ultra Love as well, for example. It's also happened on Ultra Love. Reaper into the main, gets 3 probe kills. Very nice start here for Bunny. Does he get 4? Jesus. Oh, he wants it. Yeah, he wants that 4th probe. Barely doesn't get it. Behind this early Widow Mine drop. Let's go for the mine drop across the map. Meanwhile, Shameless did open up third base off of 2 gates, I believe. Yep. So 2 gate blink into a third. Very greedy build here by Shameless. Very greedy. And we'll see if Bunny does punish. Where's the normal RSL stream at? This is the quote-unquote normal RSL stream. The mainstream, they don't go live until the... I say mainstream. Bomyoj is also casting this as well, true. Bomyoj is also casting. But like, if you're referring to like Tasteless and States and those in Korea, they do not cast the qualifiers. Not typically. I think State and Gemini did cast the Korean qualifier last time, so they might hop on to cast a Korean qualifier. But like the studio broadcast, they mainly focus on like the main events, the group stage. The group stage in the playoffs. But yes, last season, State did cast the Korean qualifier. So he might do so again, it's hard to say. But yeah, because these are the qualifiers, they often don't like fixate on it as much as like the main event. Oh, that's why we're live. That's why we're here. True. Not being streamed on your website. No, it's fine. It's fine. But here we go. Bunny does go for his drop. At the same time, we do have the Raven Harass on the left-hand side. So far, nice damage here. Late reaction, getting 2 probes. 2 probes go down, drop into the main. Stalkers are in position. Oh, but they get baited to chase the medevac here, getting 2 Stalker kills. And 2 Stalkers go down, and now we can target fire the probes. Getting 4 probes in total, going for another Stalker. The blink does finish up. Oof. Yes, more probes are going down. Eye contact too soon. Came a little bit too soon. 8 and 9 probes go down. Not bad. Not bad damage here from Bunny. And behind this third TC, not a 2 base all in. Okay. No 2 base all in. He's going to be expanding, and Shameless is rushing into charge. Rushing into a gateway composition. The drop play does continue. As we mentioned before, the rush distance by air is very short, so drops are very common. Shameless hoping to spot it. Rushing into a 4th. Shameless, he did see the 3rd, so yeah, he scouts the 3rd base, instantly throws on his 4th. So much better timing here on the 4th Nexus for Shameless. But can he survive the aggression? Double drop into the main base. Shameless is out of position. There's no energy for a recall. He cannot recall. His army turns around. Bunny is pushing at the same time. Shameless out of position. +1 is denied. Massive pickoff. Denies +1. Oh no! Brutal Warpins. Zelsa stuck here between the production. Voids are being pulled. Brutal defense as a lot of probes are going down. And here comes the main army in between the bases. Shameless just being pulled apart. He cannot keep up. Brutal mind connection. Drop into the natural. And he's going for the 3rd. He's going for the 3rd base. Only a handful of Zells to defend. There's the NG overcharge. Okay. Gonna be able to hold on. Shameless, he does hold. Does survive. But he falls behind. Shameless, he does fall behind. Is down to 48 probes. Yes, he does have a 4th base on the way, but that was meant to just maintain him against the army, against the economy of Bunny, and not play catch-up. So Shameless has a lot of catching up to do, and Bunny should be pushing before Shameless can recover. as Bunny's been untouched. Like, his economy has been completely untouched this entire game. He hasn't lost a single SCV. It's a kill. It's a kill on the shield battery. Main army's moving out. And it's going to be a tough hold here for Shameless. Aye, aye, aye. Again, the drop play was brutal. Shameless, he missed the drops every time. That's a lot of winter mines. Mine shots going off. Zelce get on top of the tank. Get on top of the tank. Meanwhile, Bunny, he dives into the mineral line. Yeah, brutal Sim City here. Zelce cannot get us around. And at this point, Bunny's done it. Yeah, Bunny, he has done it. He has broken the main army. He's broken the back of Shameless. Bunny snowballs out of control. There's 4 Stalkers left. Oh no. Reinforces from the main, and more Stalkers going down. There's just no buffer. There's no buffer. There's no splash damage. And Bunny, he's looking to make it through, looking to qualify for the Revival StarCraft League. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Bunny not going for an all-in, but hyper aggressive nonetheless, going for non-stop drop play. We spoke about it in the beginning of this game, how drop play is favored here because that short rush distance by air, and Shameless did miss the drops time and time again. He did have an observer. He had an observer in between the bases, but he barely wasn't hugging the edge of the map, so he did miss the drops too many times. Very often he was forced to reactively warp in, forced to recall. He was very often out of position and had late reactions to those drops, whether it was in the main base, pushes towards the third, or even in between the bases as well. GG. GG, well played. Hyper aggressive style there by Bunny. Again, not going for all-ins, but just being very active, very, very active on the map. GG, well played. Congratulations, as we have our top 2 players making it through into the main event. So GG, well played. Congratulations to both herO and Bunny. herO, of course, he went through undefeated. herO took down Meg Jr. 2-0, took down Rebellion 2-0, and took down Percival 3-0 as well. Did not drop a single map. Bunny had a rockier road. Honestly, there's a world out there where Folkster beats Bunny instead. Remember that? that was the highlight of the tournament. The highlight of the broadcast was Folkster versus Bunny. That was a crazy back and forth, and Folkster even was ahead in the ace match, but he lost his lead, right? Folkster, he slipped through his fingers. He lost his lead. It did look like nerves, at least from my perspective. It did look like nerves were hitting Folkster a little bit because he was in a better position against Bunny of all players, and that may have impacted some decision making and some play there for Folkster. So in the end, Bunny, he was able to claw his way back in, and in the end, qualify over Shameless. And again, Shameless and Folkster did obviously pose their threats to Bunny. But congratulations, we have herO and Bunny making it through, and of course we still have more qualifiers ahead of us. Bam, as you can see here, we have our weekly schedule. Now, we just wrapped up with our evening, or with our afternoon cast on Saturday. So we just wrapped up. It is 3 p.m. here, 3 p.m. in Australia. We just wrapped up with the RSL Americas qualifier. In a couple of hours time, in around 5. Let me just double check here. Yep. In 5.5 hours time, we're going to be live with the second RSL qualifier, with the Korean server qualifier. So again, server qualifiers do continue. Up next is going to be more prime time for Korea. It is also going to be early morning for Europe. So Europeans will be waking up and will be able to compete in that event as well. The Korean server qualifier is less favorable towards the Americas time zone. So unlikely to see many players from North or from Latino America in the Korean server qualifier. But that is going to be later on this evening, and we should be seeing more Korean representation, and honestly, we should be seeing more European representation there as well. As these are server qualifiers, they are not region locked. But with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. And again, so tonight in 5 hours, we're going to be live with the second RSL qualifier. Tomorrow, in over 24 hours, we're going to be live with Sparkling Tuna Cup. And then after Tuna Cup, then that is the European qualifier. So European qualifier is going to be Sunday evening or Monday morning for us. Monday morning for us. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, it's going to be a very intense weekend of StarCraft. I'm going to go get some breakfast. I'm going to go get some food, and then I'm going to try to sleep a little bit. It's going to be difficult, but I might try to sleep for like 2 hours or something before the next cast to be a little bit more well-rested. Do apologize for being a little bit low energy, especially in the beginning of this cast. I'm running on like like 4 hours of sleep. It's because as you can see on our schedule, before this we were live with the Platinum StarCraft League, which ended around like 6 to 7 a.m. my time. So that was, yeah, have not gotten a lot of sleep today, just casting. I nap for a couple hours, cast, nap for a couple hours, cast. That's how we do here. Again, we cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more than Wardy, more than Steadfast, more than anyone else. We have the quantity, and we have a little bit of the quality, a little bit. I have taken the initiative though to cast a little bit less recently. Sleep is nice, and we were non-stop grinding for the past 5 years, but for the first time here in the postseason, we're slowing things down a little bit. And as you can see on the schedule, there are some days where we only have 1 cast a day. For the majority of this year and last year and the year before that, we would always be casting like 2 times a day every day, sometimes 3 times a day. But here, I'm actively trying to slow things down a little bit and get some sleep. so we're cutting back a little bit on the casting. We're still live every day. We're still live on a daily basis, but a little bit less than usual. A little bit less. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in 5 hours time with the next cast. See you then. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Ciao. Bye. Ciao. Till next time. Oh, also, before I forget, if you want to support us, you can do so via socials. You can follow us over on YouTube, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. If you see something that you like here, and if it's at a really rough time zone for you, or rough time slot, if you're like, oh, you know what, I want to watch the VODs of the Platinum StarCraft League, or the VODs of the Turtle Tussle, or the VOD of the Podcast, which is our weekly talk show, you can do so via YouTube. All the VODs are uploaded to YouTube on a daily basis. We, of course, live stream on YouTube as well. We live stream on YouTube, we live stream here, we live stream over on Kick, we used to live stream on TikTok as well, we live stream on Facebook. But the VODs are all on YouTube if that's what you are looking for. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.